Man, I woke up this morning with a Woody problem.
The Jets have a
Yeah,
Woody
after
problem.
last night. What
Trust
do you mean?
me, we got enough issues. Don't drop that on our doorstep, too. I mean, come on, man. Then we're done. Then just leave.
If you're waking up this morning, if you're a Jets fan, you woke up with a Woody issue.
I'd like to wake up with Woodiness as a Jets fan. That would mean that I'm happy.
Crown you with the Woody. Anyway, Woody, his comments last night. I'm still bothered by the loss of Game 5. I got to be honest with you. But I can't let it go.
I can tell you're a little distracted. I can tell.
Deflating defeat. It happens, but
Now you got to be a pro, bud. You got to plow through. Let's go.
So with Woody Johnson, his comments. It's not just about his comments, BT, but obviously speaking last night at the NFL Awards and talking about Zach Wilson, throwing him under the bus. My issue is that. Not even that Woody's a bad owner, because I think you could be a lot worse. I think Woody gets an A for effort. However, he's just not running this team in a smart fashion. And if you can't see that the problem with this Jets team wasn't the backup quarterback last year, and that's what he made it sound like, oh, we didn't have a backup quarterback, we need to get one. No, that's not the problem, Woody. The problem was that you put yourself as an organization in spots where you rely on a 40-year-old quarterback. Then, when your quarterback went down, you didn't go get a quarterback who could start. Your backup should have been the backup, not the starter. Not to mention, your head coach is the worst head coach in the NFL, and yet there were great options out there, BT, to upgrade, and he didn't want to do that, whether it be Vrabel or Belichick, whatever. That's my issue with Woody. The way that he's running this team right now, had an opportunity to do something great, do something special. Shocking, yes, but he didn't take advantage of that, and I don't think he understands the real problem here.
Okay. Excuse me. Okay. So did you ever see when somebody apologizes, right? Mm-hmm. And then people who have no connection to the apology determine the level of sincerity in the apology? They basically grade the apology. So-and-so didn't seem authentic enough. So-and-so wasn't transparent enough. So-and-so waited too long to apologize. So-and-so had their PR person write the apology. It doesn't seem like it came from... You know what I'm talking about,
yes,
right? Okay.
Yeah.
That always bothers me. That's always bothered me.
Why? Just because it's an apology, accept it for what it is?
Accept it, yeah, for the most part.
Okay.
I mean, unless you believe it's completely inauthentic, then of course it's your prerogative not to accept it. But I mean, too many people grade apologies, and I also think too many people grade literally every word from owners, right? And that's where I get to here with Woody Johnson. Listen, I don't think Woody's a great owner. I don't think he's nearly as bad as many of you think and make him out to be. I look at the New York Jets right now, and there's a lot of franchises that have issues that the Jets don't. Woody Johnson turned the Jets from, and I love Hofstra. I got a lot of respect for Hofstra. I do. I love Long Island. I went out to Hofstra a lot, man, to watch the Jets. But the Jets went from a little mini mart, facility to one of the greatest facilities in the NFL, first rate. Mm-hmm. That was because of Woody Johnson. He spends a ton of money. It's never like we're taking calls, we're clamoring for, come on, guys, go get the extra receiver. Come on, spend the extra money.
He tries.
Yeah, dip your toe in the free agent pool. Hell, just plunge into the free agent pool. They do that. So they've got a first-rate facility. He spends money, and he hires people that, at least when he hires them, are respected. That's Joe Douglas. That's Robert Saleh. They failed.
Well, he hired Mike McCagnon, too. I mean,
no, I'm not saying they're all perfect by any stretch. No, I'm not saying. This most recent one, right? Todd Bowles.
John Idzik.
It's a long list of failures. I'm not trying to exonerate him. I'm really not. I'm just trying to contextualize his ownership. Because with Rex, it was great, at least at the beginning, and now it's been horrendous. And I think the answer is probably somewhere in between. I think he's an okay owner. I think he's well-intentioned. I think he's an easy target for a lot of reasons. Some are real, some are not. Some are stretched, manufactured, maybe for different reasons. But as a fan of the team, I don't think he's the main deterrent, because I used the James Dolan example to start the show when we had a similar conversation. For 20 years, everybody's telling me, and I was saying it too, oh, my God, Dolan stinks. Oh, Dolan, please sell the team. Please, Dolan, get out of here. Dolan, you're ruining things. Well, nobody's complaining about James Dolan because James Dolan hired somebody who's awesome at his job in Leon Rose. And that's part of it. I know it's a little mixing all together. I will have Woody's back a little bit here. I had no problem with the comments. I don't think he's a great owner. I don't think he's awful.
I think he's got the potential to be a great owner. I just don't think he's smart enough to know what he needs to do. I can't understand, because this one's right in front of his face. Salah's not a good head coach. You've seen it for 3 straight years. They've ruined the quarterback position, and there were great head coaches available. Like, go pick one to pair with Aaron Rodgers and go take a run at a Super Bowl. And he didn't want to do that. And to me, that is a glaring sign that he may just not understand the big issues here. It wasn't the backup quarterback. It was the offensive line. It was the head coach. It was almost everything but. The backup quarterback's the least of the issues when you're building a team. Once the starting quarterback goes down, you're screwed anyway. Go get another quarterback who can start. You didn't have that guy in Zach Wilson, and there was a reason why. It's because the guys you hired ruined him to begin with. Shouldn't have drafted him and then ruined him to begin with. The other thing that we've been talking about, BT, is the Super Bowl, of course. Super Bowl Sunday, just a couple of days away here. And to me, the Super Bowl, the results of the Super Bowl don't mean anything. I'm sorry. We got to a point in sports talk where it's ridiculous. How he doesn't win a championship. If he has to win a championship. If he doesn't win a championship, he's worthless. If he wins multiple championships, he's great. Yeah, if you win 4, 5 Super Bowls, to me that stands out, obviously, as opposed to winning just a Super Bowl. The results of this particular Super Bowl, to me, don't move the needle. Maybe for Kyle Shanahan a little bit, but Andy Reid is who he is. Patrick Mahomes is an all-time great already, and Brock Purdy is a good quarterback. I don't think Brock Purdy is going to be a superstar quarterback just in the event that they win this one singular game on Sunday.
I think that obviously the Super Bowl, depending upon which one it is, and you can go back to the only one the Jets won, which validated the AFL, which forced a merger, historically the most important Super Bowl. So obviously we're not going to say that that doesn't matter. And I'm not even going to co-sign what Sal just said, that the Super Bowl result doesn't matter. What I do think is true is that narratives that are attached to players or coaches' career, there's too much emphasis on the Super Bowl. Now, that seems like such a dumb thing to say. Like, listen to these two sports guys basically saying the Super Bowl is not nearly as important as many people think. Well, I'm not saying that, and you're not even fully saying that. I think what we're both saying on some level, we do have common ground here, is that too often, the successes or the failures shape a career unfairly. It's either accentuated positively or it's broken down negatively. In the case maybe of the Bills or Jim Kelly losing 4. If Marv Levy wins one of those, Marv Levy, who was an amazing head coach in the NFL, amazing, is perceived so differently. Dude, he got you there 4 times. 4, which means he won 4 in a row, 4 AFC championship games. So to me, there's still greatness in that.
I do think the Brock Purdy specific question here, because the other ones are already established. Like, yeah, Mahomes can be even greater. Sure. But whether he wins or loses, to me, I don't look at Patrick Mahomes any different. I don't think of him less than if he loses. Do you, somebody who's more of a Purdy supporter, I think he's fine. I think he's good. I just don't think he's great. What if he loses this game? How do you view Brock Purdy? Does it change in your mind?
No, because it's not about Purdy. He's way too young and it's too early. I used the word infancy earlier. He's in the he just got off the incubator, man. Like he is just losing his football diapers. It's in the earliest stage of carving out whatever career he carves out. What's interesting to me about Purdy is that I do think that he can ascend to one of the best quarterbacks in the game. Different than Josh, different than Mahomes, certainly. Far less dynamic than Lamar. Nobody's like Lamar. Totally different. But I also think that if he was to lose, based on the question you directly asked me here, and he throws 3 picks and there's a blindside, strip sack that he doesn't see, that's one thing. If they lose 31-30 and his defense gets gashed and the offense puts up points and he's in the middle of it, I'll still believe what I believe, that he has a chance to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah,
I'm not even tying it to history.
Right.
I mean, going into next season.
Right. I just disagree with him being one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I don't even think he's top 10 as a matter of fact. I think he's very good. I don't think it's a knock. But I don't think, even if he loses this game, and I expect that he's not going to be great in this game. Why would I expect that? Well, so far in the postseason, he's had 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's not the focal point of the team. He's not a game manager. He's just a good quarterback.
I got a good one for you. So you going into next season, and everything's the same. O-line, coaching, D-line. Do you want Dak Prescott, or do you want Purdy as your quarterback? I'm taking Purdy.
Yeah, good question. I mean, I don't even know if Dak is in my top 10.
Fair.
At this particular point.
Jalen Hurts or Brock Purdy? I'm taking Purdy.
I think I take Hurts.
Still.
Yeah, because I think Hurts at his peak elevated the Eagles to a point that I don't think Brock Purdy hasn't done on his own yet. And I know the Eagles are talented, but Hurts was the focal point of that team a year ago. I know this year, down year. But again, you could look at Hurts last year and say, wow, by the way, same situation. Going to a Super Bowl facing Patrick Mahomes, Hurts first one. Oh, look at what he's done here. He's got the chance to be one of the all-time greats. And then you see this year, and it's like, Hurts, and everybody wants to toss him aside.
He stumbled. The team imploded. I don't think that Purdy, even with a rough performance Sunday, which I don't think he'll have, I don't think he suffers the same fate.
Right,
I think it's going to be a very...
His peak was not as good as Hurts.
Well, it's a totally different level of dynamic. Like, the dynamic nature of Hurts is still different.
Well, that's the point. That's
I don't know.
why
You want Jalen Hurts on third? Who do you want throwing the football 3rd and 11? You got to have a first down. You're not running. Let's just say they take away the run.
Oh, yeah, but
I'll
that's
take a
part of
Purdy.
the game. I mean, Purdy, his biggest play that he made against Detroit in the championship game was with his legs.
I know, but it just in terms of the more conventional snap to snap, I would take Purdy.
BT and Sal on the Fan, our friends at Town Fair Tire. Remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Paul is in Newark. What's up, Paul?
What's going on, guys? How you been?
How are you, Paul?
Hey, man.
What's up, BT? BT, listen to Sal for once. Purdy is a system quarterback, totally system quarterback. He's like Tua. They're great in their individual systems, since both their systems are almost the same thing because it comes from Kyle Shanahan's system. Now, BT, if you put Purdy on KC, would he do the same thing that he did with the Niners?
Alex Smith won a lot of games with Kansas City.
Oh,
so my answer is pretty much yes. He'd win.
So you put Purdy on KC's team, Purdy brings them to the Super Bowl.
I don't know if they're exactly. Well, listen, Paul, I don't know if they, how many games they win in the regular season. But what I wouldn't see, I don't think, is this complete reversal of fortune where Purdy with the Chiefs, they're a 6-11 team. No.
Okay, then. So there you go. He's a system quarterback.
No. You totally misunderstood what I said.
Well, okay, then what did you say? Clarify it, please.
Dude, I don't feel like clarifying. How about that? I'm moving on. I'm done. Stop. I've clarified all day. I've clarified it. Clarify it.
Well, I mean, I think the
Or
caller
be clarified.
I think he asked a fair question. I want to just clarify what you meant.
It's been answered. I mean, this Brock Purdy stuff's getting on my nerves, man. Nobody's showing this guy any respect. All he does is win. All he does is throw touchdowns. He's not good enough. He's a system man. Was that Paul? Paul calls it a lot, Paul. I probably shouldn't have snapped on you that way. That's my bad.
Oh, come on, let it out.
I'm going to let it out, but I'm not at Paul. Paul's a good dude. That's, who the hell is anybody that didn't play in the NFL to say that he's a game manager? I will be the first, maybe the bravest, to even say that I'm not even sure exactly what people mean, but I know what they mean loosely. But I'm sorry. When Boomer Esiason says out in Vegas this week that Brock Purdy is not a game manager, I think that's got a little more weight than what Paul thinks. Or quite frankly, even what I think. Now, that doesn't mean that Boomer's right about everything, but do you think Boomer's instincts about the quarterback spot are a little bit better than ours? Yeah. Well, the answer is yes.
Well,
people just throw this nebulous term around. It's lazy. He's a system quarterback. Define it. What does it mean? What is a system quarterback, Sal?
Meaning that the Niners system in place is already built for success. Purdy fits in nicely to that system. Now, he may run that system better than others, like Garoppolo, for example, like Trey Lance, for example. But if he were not in that system, would he be able to elevate a team on his own the way Josh Allen has done? I mean, to me, that's how I view it.
That's fine. But do you think that if Josh Purdy's on, that Brock Purdy's on the Jets last year, that they go 7 wins? I don't. I honestly don't.
I don't think Brock Purdy is good enough to elevate the Jets last year.
So he wouldn't have been better than Zach Wilson. You're basically saying he's equivalent to Zach Wilson. No, because Zach Wilson won 7 games, basically.
Being better than Zach Wilson is different than elevating the Jets to a new level.
No, clearly.
Also,
but if
I think Zach Wilson would be better if he were in the 49ers system.
I do too, but you know what? He's not. So we can only react to what we know. Brock Purdy is in the 49ers system, and he's awesome. And Zach Wilson's in the Jets system, and he's ass.
Right, but if Brock Purdy came here, I think he might, in fact, be ass.
But you're saying you think. I get that, but I'm reacting to what I know.
Right.
Brock Purdy, successful.
But
Zach,
what makes you think that Brock Purdy would be successful in the Jets system?
Because I think he's smarter. I think he's more instinctual. I think he's more intuitive. I think he's a better leader. I just think he's better.
Yeah, I mean, I think he is better.
I think he's more accurate.
He's better.
I think he makes fewer mistakes.
Right, but the point is that, again, we agree on the Jets' biggest issue was what last year?
Scoring.
No.
Well, the O-line.
Right, okay. Well, how's the O-line in San Francisco?
It's good. It's much better than the Jets.
Right. How's the head coach in San Francisco?
Fantastic. But you know what? Hold on. Kyle Shanahan wasn't always fantastic when he had bad quarterback play. What now? Kyle Shanahan. I got
Even in his worst years, he's better than anything the Jets have had.
Okay,
out
I
there.
understand that, but think about this. Kyle Shanahan has had several different quarterbacks. All right, and when he has a good one, he wins. It's got to get the exact
And he got
numbers
to a
here.
Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo.
I understand that. And Jimmy Garoppolo, in his playoff run as a professional NFL quarterback, has thrown 4 touchdowns, 6 picks, missed a wide-open receiver to win the Super Bowl.
That's what I mean.
No, I understand that. But
if not for Garoppolo, Kyle Shanahan would have already had a Super Bowl.
yeah, but hold on a second. So, okay, so his first year, he was 6-10. His second year, he was 4-12. His third year, he was 13-3. And then in 2020, went 6-10. So his first 4 years, let me see. 6, 12, 16, all right, boom. You're talking about 29 wins and 10, 20, 32, 35 losses, all right? And then suddenly Purdy shows up on the scene, 13-4 last year, 12-5 this year.
Oh, Purdy
There's
didn't,
no drop.
Purdy didn't start the year last year.
I understand that. But which means he lost even fewer. He only lost one game. They went 13-4 as a team. He lost once.
Right.
I mean, I get that there's probably middle ground in this debate.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying
saying-
I'm not saying Purdy's bad.
No, I know you're not.
I don't know how anybody can debate that he isn't a product of a already successful foundation and system. I'm not saying he is a system quarterback, but I would be willing to bet that Brock Purdy wouldn't do what Josh Allen has done in Buffalo. And that's just one example I'm using.
He also might not turn the ball over. Now, he's not physically equipped. He's in the right spot.
He's not gonna throw-
Josh Allen's 6'5". He's a pit bull. He weighs 240. Puts his shoulder
well,
down like a linebacker.
pick a top quarterback. I'm picking a top quarterback.
Okay, but think about this.
Do you think Brock Purdy's better than Aaron Rodgers?
Right now, I would say if and I sincerely mean this. All right, as much as I want to see the Rodgers stuff come through, just to see if it could work. If I can hit a button, Purdy, Rodgers next year, Purdy.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I mean that. I would take Brock Purdy.
And if I'm the Niners and I can hit a button, Purdy, Rodgers, I'm hitting the Rodgers button.
Okay, that's fine. But think about this. Would you say that Patrick Mahomes had a vintage Patrick Mahomes offensive season this year?
No, they were
Not
totally
even close,
different
right?
team. Yeah.
Okay. So
But there
now,
are reasons for
no,
it. But
I was going to go there. I agree there's reasons for it. Now, nobody in their right mind is going to sit here and say that Patrick Mahomes is a system quarterback. That's just the height of idiocy. Obviously, idiocy. But I will say, without his amazing offensive coordinator, who everybody wondered what his role was, who's now in it with a different team, the first year he's gone, Mahomes' numbers dropped through the floor compared to what he was doing when that gentleman was there.
I think system manager is disrespectful.
That's all I'm saying.
But I think he's a good quarterback, not a great quarterback. And I don't believe he's one that can elevate a franchise that has nothing else like the Jets. BT and Sal on the fan. We'll continue with that conversation coming back on the other side with your calls. Also have the perfect parlay pick segment at 12:40 as well.